Hey guys, I'm just giving you an update on the Camaro. I haven't done a video in a while. I got both my rear quarter panels welded on. I got my all my patch welded in at the top where I'd made a mistake on the quarter panel when I cut it too short. I got both my outer wheel houses welded in. Might be a little bit dark in the video and you can't see it. I had to do a little patchwork after I got my quarter panels on. I'll come back to that. I had to do a lot of work taking advice from Nick on his 68 Camaro project. I didn't get these perfect, but they're a heck of a lot better than they were when I started. I split these quarter panels on each side and moved them in towards the trunk lid to tighten up my seam. And that came out pretty good on each side. I got my trunk panel welded in, and I got a pretty good fit with all my parts. I had to work with it. When I first put it on, I kind of panicked because I'd never done this before, and these new panels were way off. And I picked these things up here, these little clamps, these seam clamps. Picked them up at Harbor Freight. I got 8 of them for about $8, and they came in real handy. Just got to do some grinding and filling. Right. Okay, I got my my trunk pan all welded in, and I have to do something back here in the back. This is what I was originally talking about. Across the bottom, there's a piece that came off the trunk. If you got a different type of trunk than what I got here, I got the trunk pan kit, not the full trunk that tied into the tail panel where the tail lights go. And I had to build a seam up in the front. Weld in a seam. I had a gap there, but I cut up to where the rust was, removed the rust, and the new trunk pan wasn't quite long enough to reach all the way up. And what I did was I bought a small hydraulic bottle jack. And I jacked up these quarter panels on each side just a hair, and just enough to match the trunk lid, deck lid, and when I welded, I did the passenger side first, and it worked out really well. It held the shape I wanted it to hold, and something else I did was I welded these things back in. My channel for the that holds the rubber gasket for the trunk lid. These were the original ones. I'd cut those off, cleaned them up. I just got those welded back on. I got to do a lot of grinding on my welds yet, but I'm getting there. Once I get this all done, lining these panels up and all the welding, the rest of the car should go fairly smooth because it's just a matter of bolting stuff back together versus having to fit, trim, and weld. But this is my back panel I got from Al at work. He sold this to me for $50 and it fit pretty good. I had a little trouble in the corners, but I say I had trouble, but an experienced body guy probably would have no trouble with this. I'm just not real familiar with the process of putting all this stuff together, and I'm having to figure it out as I go. But it's getting there. Tips from Tom Noble and Nick down in Rare Rat down in Texas really helped out. Rad's from Meta, Faster Cat up in New York. All these guys gave me some really good advice. And one thing I messed up on, right behind the door, it's probably, like I said, a little dark to see it, but I stuck my knee in the quarter panel when I was pushing it into position to weld it, get some tack welds going, and I got a small dent. I did the same thing on each side. I didn't realize I did it. My wife noticed it. But down here inside the quarter panels, I had to put some patches in here because I did have rust on the inner wheel well, and so I just made some patches up. By the time I grind that down, put some seam sealer in it, undercoated all in the wheel wells, you'll never see it. But it's going good, and I just want to thank everybody for the advice and the help, tips, putting this car back together. And I'll be glad when the back's done so I can start with nuts and bolts again instead of all all this stuff with the welding and the trimming, and you know, just kind of you figure it out as you go stuff. I can do some straightforward assembly work again, and just some basic cleaning. But the whole reason for doing the back of this car the way I did, it wasn't wrecked, but it was rusted out, and I had to get rid of that rust. But all right, that's where this project is right now. I'm still working on it, and I'll try to be a little bit more regular with my videos. Just want to give you guys an update that I am still working on it. Thanks a lot. It's what is it? It's Monday night. You have a great week, and catch you later.